the passing of time, there are moments that stand still.
There has been a storybook season.
And for a talented human, there is a place where legacies live forever.
To be a part of this.
When you retire, you may get a chance to go to football heaven. This is football heaven.
That's what a Hall of Famer is.
I expect to be great.
I'll never forget this day all of my life.
I am humbled to be welcomed to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
This is Canton. This is the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
4 men fought to reach their dreams. Their success was no accident. It was hard work, perseverance, sacrifice, and most important, the love of the game. Now Canton calls them home. Tonight, 4 football legends begin their next journey, immortalized forever as members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025. Quarterback Eric Allen. Jared Allen, Tyler, Antonio Gates, wide receiver Sterling Sharpe. There is no bigger honor than the one that can only come when it's all said and done. Welcome to the Pro Football Hall of Fame Festival Enshrinees Gold Jacket Dinner, presented by Hager.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the 2025 Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Festival Gold Jacket Dinner presented by Hager, official maker of the Gold Jacket since 1978. Please welcome the President and CEO of the Canton Regional Chamber of Commerce, Jeff Dappler.
Good evening, and on behalf of the 1,900 members of the Canton Regional Chamber, welcome once again. Tonight, we gather to witness something extraordinary, the presentation of gold jackets to 4 men whose remarkable achievements have earned them a place in football immortality. And yet, I imagine each of them would agree, no one gets here alone. Every great moment on the field is built with teamwork, and so it is off the field too. At the Canton Regional Chamber, team is one of our core values. Nowhere is that more evident than in the partnership that brings this event and the entire Enshrinement Festival to life. We are proud to co-present this dinner with the Pro Football Hall of Fame and grateful for the leadership of Hall President Jim Porter and his outstanding team. Both organizations are blessed with outstanding boards of directors, and I'd like to recognize our board chairs now. Pro Football Hall of Fame Board Chairman Ed Roth, and our Chamber Board Chairman Chris Goff. Thank you both for your leadership. I'm also grateful for the team I'm privileged to lead at the Canton Regional Chamber, whose dedication and long hours behind the scenes make moments like this possible. And we could do none of this without the heart of the celebration. More than 2,000 community volunteers who give their time, talent, and energy to welcome the world to Canton. Another important member of our team is Hager. Not only is Hager the presenting sponsor for tonight's event, but they are also a great teammate to many communities throughout the country. Let's take a moment to learn a little more about their community support.
It's not the kid that prevents them from succeeding. It's not having the right resources. These are some of the brightest kids that you'll ever meet. They have ambition. They have dreams in mind. I want to make sure I give them opportunities to seize those dreams. Football has taught me that I'm in a very fortunate situation to give back. Pittsburgh, it's a city that made me. It's where I grew up, and it's the team I play for. I want every kid in the city to thrive.
I'm Charlotte Hayward-Wesley, and I am Cameron Hayward's mother. Craig's Closet is a program that began in honor of Cam's dad, Craig Hayward.
When my dad was in high school and throughout his career in college, he only had one suit.
He used to make that one suit work. He would change the tie, he'd change the shirt. There are many young people just like Cam's dad.
They don't even have one suit for a job interview, a college visit, or any other big event in their life.
We don't want lack of access to a suit to prevent any young person from pursuing their dreams.
When you get to give them a suit, you get to see their eyes just click, and you just feel like their brain is just, I can't even explain it, because you get to see the light come out of them.
They envision themselves in a way that they've never seen themselves before. There might be a future for them that they hadn't seen before.
Like the thing, my dad's looking down thinking, we're doing some great work here, and we're helping out a lot of kids that need it. He'd be all over the place and showing them how to have more swag. I would just think he'd be proud of the work we're doing.
Finally, we are deeply grateful to all the sponsors whose support makes tonight possible. Please turn your attention to the screens as we recognize them now.
The 2025 Enshrinees Gold Jacket Dinner would not be possible without the support of our sponsors. Thank you to our gold sponsors: Certified Angus Beef, Employers Health, Fred Oliveri Construction, Hendrickson, Metalis, the Safety Chain Consulting Services, Society Brands. Thank you to our silver sponsors: VNC, Shower Group, Civila Entertainment, Visit Canton. Thank you to our bronze sponsors: Marathon Petroleum. Thank you to our event sponsors: Diebold Nixdorf, True Green, Unified Comfort Systems. And to our event supporters: PPI Graphics, Nichols Bakery, Powers Oil and Propane, and Canton Chair Rental. Thank you to our 2025 major sponsors for their support of the Enshrinement Festival. The Canton Regional Chamber of Commerce proudly recognizes the following companies for their outstanding support of the 2025 Enshrinement Festival. Their generous $25,000 commitment as top-tier sponsors demonstrates a deep investment in our community, our traditions, and our region's continued success. With heartfelt appreciation, we thank Altman, Certified Angus Beef, Employers Health, Fred Oliveri Construction Company, Kimball, Marathon, Maslin Plaque Company, Synchrony, Timken, and Visit Canton. And Hager, presenting sponsor of the 2025 Enshrinees Gold Jacket Dinner. Since 1978, Hager Clothing has proudly crafted the gold jacket for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Tonight, each member of the 2025 class receives a gold jacket awarded by the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Thank you to Hager, America's #1 selling dress pant brand, for their continued support as the official provider of the gold jacket since 1978.
Now let's meet tonight's host, Steve White. Steve serves as the Chief National Reporter for NFL Network and NFL.com. White, who joined NFL Media in 2008, contributes insider reports, analysis, and moderates panel discussions. White earned his BA in journalism from Howard University in 1989 and has covered sports teams in Richmond, Virginia, Washington, Miami, and Atlanta before joining NFL Network. White resides in Los Angeles with his wife of 32 years and 3 sons. He's also a longtime MC for the Game Day Roundtable, now called Unscripted and Tailgate, on Sunday afternoon. Please welcome back to Canton, Steve White.
Look, this is a fantastic night. The Gold Jacket Dinner is such a special event. So before we get rolling here officially, just a couple personal notes. As Jeff mentioned, the voice mentioned, I've been coming to camp for more than a decade, doing a lot of events here. This is my first time doing this tonight. All right. Jim, spoke to the chamber. I am honored. I love Canton, Ohio. I love the people. I love honoring these great Hall of Famers, from the door knocks to being. And I also love being in the great state of Ohio, home of the NCAA champion, Ohio State Buckeyes. As the kids say, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. We got that out of the way, right? Okay, now let's proceed. All right, as we know, this is always a great event, and we have dozens of returning Hall of Famers, NFL team owners, and of course, class of 2025. But before we get into the evening's festivities, we've got some serious business here, because many of you heard about the shooting that took place in New York City this week, claiming 4 lives and injuring a member of the NFL staff. And I ask you to please join me in a moment of silence to remember the lives lost and those affected by this terrible tragedy. Thank you very much. In addition to celebrating the class of 2025 tonight, we're also honored to recognize 2 individuals for their outstanding contributions to professional football. The Bill Nunn Memorial Award is given by the Professional Football Writers of America to a reporter who has made a long and distinguished contribution to pro football. The award is named for Nunn, who, prior to his Hall of Fame scouting career with the Pittsburgh Steelers, worked for 22 years at the Pittsburgh Courier, one of the most influential black publications in the United States. Now, let's learn a little bit more about this year's winner, Mary Kay Cabot, the 57th Nunn Award honoree.
When the Pro Football Hall of Fame asked if I'd be the voice of the video honoring the journalism career of Mary Kay Cabot, well, it was easy. This is an honor. Mary Kay is a pioneer in our profession. It was in 1991 that she took over daily beat coverage of the Browns at the Cleveland Plain Dealer, becoming the first female to cover any major pro team in the market. Over the past 3+ decades, she has seen many changes, some of which she helped bring about. When she started, seeing another woman working in the press box was rare, and rarer still inside an NFL locker room. Mary Kay knows about being left outside the locker room. The perseverance Mary Kay showed in the face of discrimination not only opened doors for others, but also made things so much better for the generations who have followed. It's a tough job for anyone, but for Mary Kay to have succeeded while rearing 3 children is no small achievement. She is good at being the mother of 28-year-old Chris, 26-year-old Celeste, and 24-year-old Cameron. She is good at being the wife of Bill Merman for 32 years, and she certainly is good at being an NFL reporter for going on 34 seasons now. We're almost done talking about who's first, and to the point of seeing who's next. Mary Kay was one of the NFL's first female reporters, and now she's this award's next. Congratulations, Mary Kay, on winning the 2025 Bill Nunn Award given by the Pro Football Writers of America. You've proved your place in locker rooms, and now you have a place in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Welcome.
I have the biggest honor in bringing to the microphone Mary Kay Cabot. Thank you, Mary Kay.
Thank you so much, Steve, and thank you so much, Shireen, for that wonderful introduction on the video. I'm so humbled and grateful to be here accepting this prestigious award. I can't wait to see all the guys in their gold jackets, but I must have read the memo wrong. I thought it was the gold dress dinner. Huge congrats to Brent Musburger and to the new inductees. I see you, Antonio Gates. Go Flashes. I also can't wait to see the great Joe Thomas out here, and I'm so honored to have helped put him in the hall 2 years ago. Joe blocked for 20 Browns starting quarterbacks in his day, and I know that was rough, but I can't feel too sorry for him because I've covered 49 Browns starting quarterbacks since the late 1980s. And about 47 of them blamed their benching on me. Brandon Whedon gets trapped under the US flag, my fault. Johnny Manziel forgets to read the playbook, my fault. I'll never forget one of the first times I was assigned to go into an NFL locker room, some 30 years ago. The guy guarding the door refused to let me in, and my deadline was fast approaching. So I kicked the door open and walked in, and somehow managed to get the story in on time. I wouldn't recommend this, however, because it was really difficult to limp back up to the press box. Once I walked through that door into the NFL, I knew I'd have to play big to survive in this alpha dog world. If I was going to keep that door open and pull all of the amazing women through it who have come after me, I knew I had to make them know my name, as Browns cornerback Rozelle Award would say. It wasn't always well received. Back then, it was the wild, wild west for female reporters, and we had to fend for ourselves. I got called every name in the book. I was told to get back in the kitchen, when I was never in the kitchen in the first place. Threatened with violence, and told I would never make it in this business. And that was just by a couple of guys in my old sports department back in the day. But if you're going to blaze a trail, you have to be willing to walk through the fire. I took more arrows and inappropriate comments than I should have, but I didn't want to become the story, I just wanted to write them. Now I look around the NFL and I see women everywhere, in the media room, the front office, the coaching staff, the officiating crew. And I hope I was able to make their jobs a little easier. We even have girls flag football now, and I'm a little jealous. I would have been a little diva receiving. Fortunately, I went to the School of Hard Knocks in the NFL because Bill Belichick was the first Browns coach I ever covered. You see, if you start out with Bill Belichick, no one can rattle you after that. If Bill didn't like something I wrote, he'd call and yell at me. If you asked a dumb question, he'd call you out. Eventually, I had to learn to stand up to him. During one of those yelling matches, I told him, if you don't have the footballs to say that to the guys, then don't say it to me. Bam. But now, I totally understand why Bill gave me such a hard time. I was 28 at the time, and he just couldn't relate to a woman that old. Again, I'm grateful because it calloused me to stay in the game when the going got tough. One of those times came in 2011 when Colt McCoy was put back in the game with a concussion. A family member confirmed it, and I broke the story. Before I knew it, I was getting yelled at in the hallway by a very large previous member of the Browns front office. But I wasn't about to let them break me. I stuck with it, and the series led to the new NFL concussion protocol, which I know has saved lives. Another time came when I broke the story that Baker Mayfield might ask to be traded. He tweeted out to his legions of followers that my story was clickbait and don't put words in my mouth to put food on your table. To which my son replied, "I've got news for you, Baker. My mom hasn't put food on the table in 25 years. Baker did end up asking to be traded, by the way. I pride myself on being an old school bulldog reporter, but I also love to tell your life stories, to reach inside your heart and soul and find something that you've never been willing to share or that you didn't even know was there. I don't know who cried harder during my interview with Trent Dilfer about him losing his young son Trevin to a heart virus, him or me. I had a tremendous responsibility to honor Trevin's memory, and I took great, tender, loving care with it. Or the time linebacker Jamie Collins opened up for the first time about losing both of his parents when he was 6 years old, and how his 20-year-old sister raised her 5 younger brothers. Collins learned how a father talks to a son by overhearing conversations in a convenience store. Denzel Ward didn't want to talk about losing his dad at age 46 to a heart attack, but I shared with him my story of sitting at the Cleveland Clinic with a black box in my hands and a little green light on it while my husband's heart was outside of his body being worked on. Denzel knew I had a heart for his story, and he opened up. I'm sure we saved some lives with that one. Or Mike Woods, who shared that he had a near-death experience at the age of 4 when he was found unconscious at the bottom of the family pool. Or Jerry Judy, who cleaned the mucus from his baby sister's breathing tube when he was in 6th grade and was devastated when he lost her in high school. Or former Colts GM Ryan Grigson. Sorry I made you cry, buddy, but you really needed to get that out. My maternal instincts kick in during these interviews, and I think the players know that I truly care. Speaking of maternal instincts, I don't see a lot of women in this role with multiple kids, but I'm here to tell you, it can be done. You just need help. I had my amazing mom and my incredible husband, and there's no way I'd be standing up here tonight without either of them. When I was on the road for Browns games, Bill would pile the 3 kids into car seats and take them to church. He's been my rock and my guiding light for the past 32 years. When I was getting yelled at, called out, and threatened, he was always there to catch me. When the kids were really little, ESPN came calling with a great job offer, but I didn't think I could pull it off. Bill said, "We can make it work." I was the one who said no. Now, Bill just says that I'm in a 25-year cooking slump, but he's confident I'll pull out of it. I think so too. As soon as the Browns win the Super Bowl, I'll make him that big pot of white chicken chili he's been waiting for. And my 3 amazing children, who are truly my heart, they survived the craziness of this job, and they're all with me here tonight. So it must not have been too bad. If it was, keep that to yourselves, kids. They've seen me write stories from the dentist chair, from under a pier on the beach, and from the bleachers at a lacrosse game. They watched me head out the door for a walk with my computer on my back. Chris and I were a few minutes late for Mom Prom because Johnny Manziel was found floating on a swan that night. But we stayed until the final dance. Girls, I never missed a gymnastics meet, and I reverse French braided your hair before every one. I taught you to be fearless and to follow your hearts. And I think you listened. We've got one budding future member of the senior golf tour, one professional acrobat, and one stand-up comedian. I gave you guys everything I had when I wasn't covering a coaching search. My late father would single-handedly light up this room with pride if he were here. He was the biggest sports fan in all of Cleveland and always believed that this was the Browns' year. My mom, who poured her heart, soul, and rosary into our kids, is still kicking at 93 years old. Before every Browns road trip, she urges me to bring us a winner. I'm trying, girl, I'm trying. To my best friends in the business, Marla, Nate, Scott, Dan, Ashley, Chris, and Jeff, thank you for the laughter, the support, and for driving Miss Daisy. To Marla Ridenauer, who hit the trail a few years before I did, thanks for walking this Hall of Fame journey with me. I love you dearly. To my wonderful family and friends who came from all over the country to be here tonight, I love you guys. A special thanks to the great Shireen Williams, the first woman to win the Bill Nunn Award in 2018 and a fellow Trails Blazer. It's hard to believe I'm only the second one in 57 years. Thanks for kicking the door open to the hall so I could walk through it. I promise I will help keep it open for the others.
That was amazing. That was amazing. So Sterling, Antonio, Jared, and Eric, the bar for your speeches tomorrow has been set by Mary Kay. That was fantastic. Well done. All right, the Pro Football Hall of Fame presents the Pete Rozelle Award annually in recognition of longtime exceptional contributions to radio and television in professional football. The award is named for the late longtime NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle, who led the league from 1960 to 1989. This year, we are proud to honor Brent Musburger.
You are looking live. The unmistakable catchline delivered by the incomparable Brent Musburger has been heard for decades in living rooms across the country. Musburger began calling NFL games for CBS in 1973 and was often paired with future Hall of Famer Bart Starr. 2 years later, he'd take the helm at the desk for the network's innovative studio show, The NFL Today, working alongside Phyllis George, former Eagles and Rams defensive back Irv Cross, Jimmy the Greek, and later Jane Kennedy. The Emmy Award-winning show provided a fresh and fun look at the game. Following his time with CBS Sports, Musburger joined ABC, where he continued to cover major events and hosted Monday Night Football's studio show. Musburger's career also expanded to cover a variety of other sports on TV and radio, including college football. And no matter where he took his talent, he shared his wealth of knowledge.
Well, you know, I worked with Brent 8 or 9 years on national television, and we did a lot of big games, and I really enjoyed the experience of working with him as much as I did presenting the game. He brought the best out of me and stimulated me within a broadcast to really be who I was and talk about what I wanted to talk about, and he positively influenced the entire production crew, the producer, the director. He trained them all because he could do any one of their jobs. I couldn't do his job. As serious as he could be, he's a lot of fun and just a great human being, and I consider him a great friend.
A true master of broadcasting, Musburger didn't simply deliver information, he made NFL fans feel the importance and magnitude of each and every game.
Now, early in his career, Brent had the opportunity to work and become close friends with Jane Kennedy. And for those of you who remember Jane, she is best known for her groundbreaking tenure on the Emmy Award-winning CBS The NFL Today Show from 1978 to 1980. Here today to present the award to Brent Musburger is Jane Kennedy.
Truly honored to be here tonight, and I wouldn't have missed it for anything in the world, because you're so special to me. In 1978, there was a talent search for a replacement for Phyllis George, and I knew I could do the job, but everybody kept saying, they're not looking for anyone like you, which was code for they're not looking for a black woman for this job. When I got there were 16 blondes, and there was me. And we got halfway through the auditions, and it was my turn, and I came on the studio stage. I did 5 minutes with Brent, 5 minutes with on-camera delivery, 5 minutes with interviewing an athlete. And when I finished, Brent stood up and said, "It's Jane or nobody." And he walked out of the studio. He didn't even interview the rest of the girls. Learned so much from this gentleman. I have learned he changed my life forever. Nothing has been the same since those days on the NFL Today, and that's all due to you, Sir Brent. It is. And I'm reading this and I have to say, this is so well deserved, because I can truly say in a full circle moment that not only is Jane or nobody, to me, it's Brent or nobody. Brent or nobody. The Pete Rozelle Radio Television Award for longtime exceptional contribution to radio television, Brent Musburger. 2025, presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame in my hometown, in my neck of the woods, Northeast Ohio.
There goes that speech. How are you, everybody? Jane Kennedy, what a surprise. I'm going to tell you something. When I said it's Jane or nobody, this woman sat down. She knew football. She had a brother who played. And I said, that's exactly what we need on this team. Jane, thank you so very much. It was great having you here today. Where did Steve go? Steve's right behind me. I noticed you got a little ovation out of talking about that football team about 150 miles from here. So for all of you out there, holy Buckeye! Yeah. Uh-oh. I heard a Michigan fan booing. Okay. All right, so I got to tell you, I was with one of my favorite Michigan guys last night. Chargers coach, Jimmy Harbaugh. Let's rock this house. So, I covered Jimmy as a player, and yes, he did have some great games against Ohio State. And I also covered him as a coach when he got his first opportunity at Stanford. And I'll never forget our first production meeting. Bo Schembechler had called him on the phone. And he said to Jimmy, "Jimmy, do you have a fullback?" And Coach said, "Yeah." "Oh, I've got a fullback." "Jimmy, do you have a tight end?" "Yeah, Coach, I've got a tight end." And did you see that team last night with a fullback and a tight end? They dominated, winning. Holy Toledo. I'm a season ticket holder of my Las Vegas Raiders over here, and I'm scared. I think it's game 2. We got to play the Chargers out there on Monday night. That's going to be... You know, the football, I wouldn't have been able to cover all these things without professional football and the great athletes that we've got going into the Hall of Fame. And I go back, I was a newspaper man in Chicago, and actually I was an all baseball guy. Chuck Heaton from the Plain Dealer was one of my friends, and a great writer. And so I got a call one October morning from the editor of the Chicago American. "Brent, you're covering the Bears." Now, I was a young reporter, and I didn't want to tell him, I've never even seen a pro football game. But he said, "Go to practice. George Hallis is waiting for you." It was 1963. And the one thing I knew, because I covered so many Cub games, White Sox games, pennant races, I knew where that door was in left field, Wrigley Field, pushed it open. Now, Ohio State and Michigan fans know when you go to play Northwestern, they run the field from the third base dugout out to right field in Wrigley Field. But when the Bears played their games and practiced, they ran the field from the first base dugout out to left field. Opened the door, and they're standing there, the Papa Bear himself, okay? Suit and tie and fedora. And that was my first meeting of anybody in the NFL. And of course, he's in the legacy class here in Canton, Ohio. And that team in 1963 that we covered, Doug Atkins, one of the toughest defensive ends, Hall of Fame. Bus is right here in Canton, Ohio. Mike Ditka, tight end, later a coach, won a Super Bowl as a coach. And whenever they would lose, I would always go to Ditka because he gave me the best quotes on what had gone wrong that particular day. They played the New York Giants in Wrigley Field in December, not named the Super Bowl. It was the NFL championship game in that day. Another Hall of Famer, Y.A. Tiller. They beat him up pretty good and intercepted him 5 times before it was over, and the Bears won that championship 14-10. That was my introduction. And here I am in Canton, Ohio, George Hallis Boulevard. It's great to be here, everybody. I really, really enjoyed it. My career as a writer was a little bit easier than Mary Kay's, I must tell you that right now. And then when I got a chance with the NFL Today, with Jane Kennedy and Irv Cross, I knew from my days at Northwestern. What a wonderful guy. Phyllis George, like Jane, she could light up a room. The athletes loved to see her coming, do interviews. And then the second year, and now we're going to speak about Mr. Rozelle. I get a phone call. "Brent, do you know a gambler by the name of Jimmy the Greek?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I've been to Vegas." I said, "Yeah, I do know the Greek." He said, "We're going to put him on the air with you." And I said, "Wait a minute. What does Commissioner Pete Rozelle think? I mean, the gambling, he suspended Paul Hornung, now he's Karras for a year. What's going on?" He said, "Oh, we'll have a meeting. It'll be fine." So we had this meeting with Pete Rozelle, and the issue really never came up. We told anecdotes. One thing about Rozelle, I knew he understood gambling because I alwaw saw him at the Kentucky Derby. I would see him occasionally at Belmont or Aqueduct. He and Wellington Merritt frequently would go together to the racetrack, so I knew he understood it. So we got up to leave to go back to the studio, and he said, "Gentlemen, I'd like to ask you a favor." And when a commissioner says, "I'd like to ask you a favor," he wants this done or else. And he said, "Please don't use -3, +7, -10. Just don't use the spreads." Now I go back walking with the guys. We left the office. I said, "Now what do we do?" Well, you saw what we did. We came up with the Greeks' checkboard. And if all those checks were over there on one side, the Greek thought they could cover 10. You know what I'm saying? So that was how we got in the air. Pete was a wonderful friend of the NFL today. A lot of people don't know him. Mark Davis is here, but his father, Al Davis, was one of Jimmy the Greek's best friends. I'd go to dinner with him, and I'd be mesmerized by Al's anecdotes, and he and the Greek would talk. And it's so great that Mark has been able to bring the Raiders to Las Vegas, and they have been so successful there. And I'm so happy that the league is considering another Super Bowl, because a couple of years ago, I thought it was terrific, okay? And if you get a chance, I think, don't the Browns, Mary Kay, don't the Browns come to Las Vegas this year? Okay. Get those tickets early. The whole city of Cleveland. You're what? By the way, Mary Kay, who's your quarterback? You didn't tell me who. I mean, I got the inside scoop here. You got Cincinnati in the opening game. Who's going to be under center? See, she sides with Joe Flacco. Shador, has he paid his speeding tickets? Is he okay now? All right. Listen, a couple of guys that I love are coming out. I worked with them. You heard Coach Dick Vermeil and Dan Fouts. I want to tell you, in closing, a couple of stories. Fauci was a great quarterback with the Chargers. Hall of Famer. But when you'd cover a Charger game and there was a bad pass, incomplete, guy who dropped the ball, you'd always see Fouts go like this. So we thought, hey, he's blaming himself for this. But what he later revealed to us when he was broadcasting, he was going like this: catch the ball, you SOB, catch the ball. That's Fauci, all right? Now, Dick Vermeil and great time, most well-prepared analyst. Listen, he knew as much as the two coaches about the teams and the players when we go into the booth. So, one day we're doing a Penn State and Iowa game, and Penn State's offense is struggling. Joe Paterno was their coach, and about 3 or 4 incompletions. And out of the blue, now you have to understand, Dick is emotional. He was emotional as a coach. All of a sudden he says, Penn State's passing game sucks. Whoa, there's nothing I could say to bail this out. So I go, I don't even want to laugh. So 10 seconds of silence, and we go on. But he was really silent. Dick was really silent. And we go to commercial, and he said, Brent, I shouldn't have said that. Dick, and I didn't want to be upset for the rest of the broadcast. It's okay. So when we leave and we're going to the airport, he said, I'm going to write Joe Pa an apology. I said, yeah, sure thing. So the next week, he's all smiles when he comes in. I said, what are you so happy about? He said, Joe Pa answered me. And he said, don't worry about it, Dick. Don't worry about it. You were right. Our passing game sucked. Okay? So that was my man Vermeil, and I loved every minute of it. And I want to thank all of you. This has been a wonderful journey. I have so enjoyed the Hall of Fame. Mary Kay, congratulations. So well deserving. And I want your phone number so I can check on that quarterback. So thank you all very much. And listen, I'm blessed with a wife of 63 years and 2 sons. My youngest, Scott, is with me here tonight, and I've told him all my life, listen, I never really had to grow up. I just went to the next game. Thank you all so very much.
Congratulations again, Brent. All right, now it's our pleasure to hear from a man deeply committed to the mission of the Hall of Fame and its 382 members. Jim Porter, the president of the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Steve. Brent and Mary Kay, on behalf of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, congratulations for well-deserved awards. Mary Kay, I think you might have 2 stand-up comedians in your family. So welcome to football's greatest weekend. If you live locally in the region, you probably have seen that sign everywhere. We brought that back from the 1980s and 90s because this truly is football's greatest weekend. And what we wanted to do was ask our region to show up and celebrate with us. And if you've been part of the last 2 days, you would notice that this community has responded to that request. So we thank you so much, Stark County and region. Thank you. Stepping up is also what our volunteers do, and you've heard the number. I've heard 3,000, I heard 2,000. I don't know how many, but there's a lot of them. And we can't do this without them, so we absolutely appreciate every volunteer. And if you see a volunteer, please tell them thank you. They work all year long to get ready for this weekend. So thank you, volunteers. I'm full of thank yous tonight, so I'm just going to give a whole list here. Thank you to the Mayor of Canton. You are doing a great job for us, and we appreciate you very much, Mayor Sharpe. Thank you to the city. Yes, Mayor. Thank you to the city of Canton. Thank you to all the safety forces who have kept us safe all weekend long. We, of course, want to thank the Chamber, and Jeff, you're right, you have a great team, and we appreciate all the work on all of these different events that started last weekend. Thank you. A great partner of the Hall is the NFL, and we appreciate everything that they do for us, and we can't do what we do without the NFL. That was a terrific game last night, and the NFL comes in and makes sure that Canton shines. So thank you to the NFL. Of course, our board of directors, they unselfishly give of themselves all year long. We appreciate that. The Hall of Famers, there's 382 Hall of Famers. You've heard that number tonight a couple of times. There's about 111 here tonight, and that's impressive. However, somebody also said earlier they didn't get here by themselves, and we want to make sure that we thank all the family members and wives and widows that are with us tonight also. Thank you for being here. So when I got the honor of having this job 4 years ago, the mission statement of the Pro Football Hall of Fame started with honor the heroes of the game. And some of the Hall of Famers who are here tonight actually called and said, listen, we're not heroes. Heroes run into fire, they keep us safe, they protect us. So we changed our mission statement to honor the greatest of the game. But I'm gonna ask a favor here. I'm gonna ask a few people to stand up and remain standing up until I'm done. But if you are a nurse, please stand up. If you are a teacher, please stand up. If you are a coach, please stand up. If you are active military, please stand up. If you are a veteran, please stand up. If you are a member of the police force, please stand up. If you're a member of the fire department, please stand up. And if you're an emergency medical personnel member, please stand up. There's our heroes, guys. Thank you all for what you do. Class of 2025, you guys are gonna get to know them tonight. I got to know them back in January, and they are terrific individuals. They were great football players, that's why we're here tonight. But they could also go into just being a Good People Hall of Fame also. They are all very, very good people, and we're honored to be associated with them tonight. So, we got over 100. You don't need to hear anything else from me. We're gonna get the opportunity to meet them here in a second. So thank you all for being here and enjoy.
And a round of applause to Jim Porter because he's done a hell of a job at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We're getting close. I promise we're getting close. But before we bring out our Hall of Famers, let's take a moment to pay tribute to all the NFL legends who have left us this year, including 3 Hall of Famers. team also lost 2 icons in ownership. Please take one more moment to remember Virginia Hallis McCaskey of the Bears and Jim Irsay of the Colts. All right. And now we have the pleasure of welcoming a large group of Hall of Famers who returned this year, who form one of the highlights of this entire 2-week Hall of Fame Festival celebration, the Gauntlet. And if you haven't seen it before, you are in for a treat. It was 62 years ago that 17 football greats were enshrined in the inaugural class of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And today there are 382 football greats who will forever call the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, their home. It's the returning Hall of Famers that make the event tonight so special for all of us. So thank you to all the Hall of Famers. It means everything. And one of those greats will be introducing our Hall of Famers as they form the famed Gauntlet this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 1993 member, Dan Fox.
Congratulate Mary Kay and my friend Brent Musburger. Brent, don't ever let anybody tell you to shut up. As we know, we have over 100 Hall of Famers tonight. Let's get this party started. We have the 3-time Super Bowl champion with the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens, Shannon Sharpe. Raiders Super Bowl 18 MVP, the great running back from the Raiders, Marcus Allen. 2006 NFL MVP and Walter Payton Man of the Year from the San Diego Chargers, LaDainian Tomlinson. And how about the Coach of the Year in 1999, head coach Dick Vermeil. And a man who won the first 2 Super Bowls. Seated down here, the great guard, number 64 of the Packers, Jerry Kramer. A wide receiver who set records in 4 receiving categories. From the Raiders, Tim Brown. Defensive Player of the Year, middle linebacker for the Denver Broncos, Randy Gradishaw. And the Buckeye. Super Bowl champion, running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They call him the Bucks, Jerome Bettis. safety, Ken Houston. And two-time Super Bowl champion with the Miami Dolphins, the great wide receiver, Paul Warfield. Three-time Offensive Lineman of the Year from the Miami Dolphins and my classmate of 1993, the great Larry Little. This man had the most interceptions in NFL history, a record that may stand forever. Paul Krause. This man played the most games in NFL history. Kicker, Morton Anderson. Walter Payton, Man of the Year Award winner, Will Shields. And a quarterback's dream offensive lineman named Will Shields. This man was first team All-Pro 6 years in a row. Tackle, Ron Yeri. San Diego Chargers' greatest from the AFL days. Only 2 holding penalties in 11 years. Ron Mix. '85 Walter Payton Man of the Year Award winner, Dwight Stevenson. Another great offensive lineman from the New England Patriots, John Hanna. A member of the Bills Electric Company and a Cleveland Brown, Joe Delamalier. Interceptions in his career from the Cardinals, Roger Worley. A 2-time Super Bowl champion with the Denver Broncos, Steve Atwater. This man led the league in forced fumbles 4 different times. The great linebacker from the Saints, Ricky Jackson. A member of the 2010s All-Decade team from the 49ers, Patrick Willis. Bowl winning linebacker from the Kansas City Chiefs and a guy that has come back to the Hall of Fame for 43 consecutive years to make this walk. This is Bobby Gubb. Running backs of all time, Super Bowl champion, running back for the Dallas Cowboys, Tony Dorsett. And from the Super Bowl 12, from the Dallas Cowboys, the champion, wide receiver, Drew Pearson. This man played 20 seasons as a cornerback in the NFL. And the fastest guy on the field, Harold Green. Man with the Kansas City Chiefs intercepted 58 passes in his career. Number 18, Emmett Thomas. And with the all-time great middle linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, number 63, Willie Lanier. All-decade team, linebacker, Andre Tippett. The Oilers and Titans all-time sack leader, Elvin Bethea. All-decade team, the defensive tackle for the Vikings, John Randall. He built the Super Bowl winning champion Green Bay Packers, general manager Ron Wolf. Super Bowl champion from the Oakland Raiders, you know him as the ghost to the post, tight end, Dave Casper. MVP of Super Bowl in 2000, running back, Marshall Faulk. Man was the first cornerback to have 20 sacks and 20 interceptions. Rondé Barber. I'm not sure I want to introduce this guy because he used to kill me every game. From the Raiders, number 75, Howie Long. Forgiven. Co-MVP of Super Bowl 12, defensive tackle, number 54 for the Cowboys, Randy White. Executive of the Year, Bill Polian. This man was in the Super Bowl 4 consecutive years. He has beaten cancer 4 times. Quarterback Jim Kelly. Two-time Defensive Player of the Year, middle linebacker Mike Singletary of the Chicago Bears. Super Bowl 20 MVP of the Chicago Bears, defensive end Richard Dent. Favorites, obviously. He played with me in San Diego. He played 18 years in the National Football League. Wide receiver, Charlie Joyner. The Bills' all-time receiver for the Buffalo Bills, Andre Reed. This man was the 1991 NFL MVP, running back for the Bills, number 34, Thurman Thomas. About the NFL's all-time leading rusher from the Cowboys, Emmitt Smith. This man led the NFL in tackles 2 straight seasons. Middle linebacker Zach Thomas of the Dolphins. Member of the 1980s All-Decade Team from the Bears, Jimbo Covert. An 11-time Pro Bowler for the Saints and the Chiefs, tackle Willie Rose. Super Bowl champion with the Los Angeles Rams, tackle Orlando Pace. Hell yeah, the Buckeye. Another of my favorites, member of the 75th and 100th anniversary team, tight end number 80 from the Chargers, Kellen Winslow. A 12-time All-Pro offensive lineman for the Minnesota Vikings, Randall McDaniel. Remember the 1970s All-Decade Team from the Philadelphia Eagles, Harold Carmichael. winner of the year from the Cincinnati Bengals in the Hall of Fame, Anthony Munoz. All right, you notice, everybody, that we have a nice ramp here this year. This ramp is now dedicated and named after Mean Joe Green. I don't have to help you this year. How about the head coach of the Steelers, Bill Cowher? Speaking of Steelers, great safety for the Steelers, number 31, Donnie Shell. How about a Super Bowl winning coach, Tony Dungy and the Buccaneers? This man won 4 Super Bowls with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 47, cornerback, Mel Blount. We gotta get you a little logo to put on that helmet of yours. This guy played 17 years in the National Football League as an outstanding quarterback, plus his time in Canada where he was awesome and winning all those Grey Cups from the University of Washington in a purple tie, no less. Quarterback, Warren Moon. This man is the first guy to ever gain 14,000 yards receiving, James Lofton. This man was named to the 2000s All-Decade Team. Lineman Alan Faneca. Okay, Cleveland, this is your chance. He never missed a snap in 10 seasons. Say hi to Joe Thomas. Member of the 2000s All-Decade Team, lineman Steve Hutchinson. Member of the 1990s All-Decade Team from the San Francisco 49ers, defensive tackle Bryant Young. This man was a member of the All-Decades Team of the 2000s, lineman Kevin Mawai. Another great offensive lineman, a member Houston Oilers, Defensive Rookie of the Year, 1975. They call him Dr. Doom, Robert Rozelle. Back when the Packers were winning everything all the time, this man won 2 Super Bowls with the Packers. Linebacker number 89, Dave Robinson. Champion, another great wide receiver from the Pittsburgh Steelers, number 82, John Stallworth. How about the greatest show on turf, the Los Angeles Rams, St. Louis Rams, wide receiver Isaac Bruce. MVP of Super Bowl 10. Doesn't look that old. Great wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, number 88, Lynn Swann. '99 Defensive Player of the Year, defensive tackle Warren Sapp. Guys, we got Charles Woodson and Rod Woodson, both interception leaders in the NFL. Come on out, Twins. Charles, I love your wine. I just hate the name. You got a wine coming named Intercept. I know about intercepts. He led the NFL in sacks in 2004. Defensive end for the Colts, Dwight Freeney. Member of the 1990s All-Decade Team, cornerback Aeneas Williams. This man needs no introduction because he doesn't want one. He just wants his name, Charles Haley. By the way, he did win 5 Super Bowls, didn't you? '99 Offensive Rookie of the Year from the Colts, Edgerrin James. There's another pioneer because this man was the first return specialist in the history of the National Football League. From the Bears, Devin Hester. And the pioneers keep coming. This is the first Houston Texan member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame wide receiver, Andre Johnson. Three-time Super Bowl champion from the Dallas Cowboys, the playmaker, Michael Irvin. This mountain of a man played 20 seasons with the Rams. Offensive tackle, Jackie Slater. And you Packer fans know this man as the inventor of the Lambeau Leap. Defensive back from the Packers, Leroy Butler. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest football players of all time.
And another round of applause for Dan Fouts. That was a gauntlet just announcing the gauntlet. Well done, Dan. Yeah. It's about to get special in here. We're moments away from seeing one of the greatest moments in sports from the class of 2025, which is their first icon of being a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the gold jacket. The jacket will be followed tomorrow by the unveiling of their bust at the enshrinement ceremony, and later this fall, the Kay Jewelers Hall of Fame Ring of Excellence. But first, we have a special guest joining us here tonight. Please welcome the Academy of Country Music nominated artist, songwriter, New York Times acclaimed film TV actor, J.T. Hodges. And JT will be performing the song he wrote for the Pro Football Hall of Fame and all of its 382 members, Canton is Calling. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome J.T. Hodges.
It's an honor, gentlemen.
Field of sweat, tears, and blood. We're the number or a name. We became the greatest in the game. Hallelujah, Canton is calling. Hallelujah, take me home.
say to you, well done. What a perfect way to open the show and set the tone for giving out some gold jackets. Now, if you were at this dinner last year, I'm sure you remember that as each enshrinee completes the gauntlet, they'll be met on stage to receive their gold jacket. And it only makes sense that after heading down the gauntlet of gold, our class members would receive their jacket from another Hall of Famer. So each enshrinee has selected a Pro Football Hall of Famer who inspired them to present them with their gold jacket tonight. Now it's time to almost start presenting new members into the Pro Football Hall of Fame with their gold jackets. And to help us get a glimpse of the heart and spirit of this year's enshrinees, please welcome internationally acclaimed spoken artist and transformative entertainer, my man, Steve Connell. With performances at the White House, HBO, and Sundance, he's here tonight to premiere an original poem inspired by the collective legacy of these four remarkable men. Join me in welcoming back Steve Connell.
In all of football, since the beginning, whenever we celebrate winning, we celebrate the brotherhood of men. I mean, that's how it's always been, right? From the first time they held the ball to the first time the ball held them. And I know some of y'all had cleats on since before you could walk, right? Could play call before you could talk, had mouth guards before your mom ever had to tell you to watch your mouth. And now, well, you don't need your mom to tell you to give your teammates the credit. See, legends know without my brothers, there's no legacy. So you put in any one of them instead of me and I'm fine. After all, my brothers ain't heavy, they're mine. That's something Sterling learned the only time he was ever reprimanded during a game. That's when a 12-year-old coach with his last name said, you ain't playing like you supposed to play, man. Do what you're supposed to do. You play for me, right? I play for you. We play for each other. Remember, we not heavy, we brothers. Something Eric Allen learned from his older brother Craig. He told his parents, nah, he ain't heavy, and carried him newly born from the car into the house, saying only, when can we play? Which explains why EA grew up looking for a team that could hold him like that. A team he could only push forward when he held them right back. That's why we are here tonight, to celebrate what Antonio Gates learned while playing with his brothers in the street. Some days you'll win, some days you'll get beat. The game does what the game does. Y'all just show up and compete. That's why we are here tonight, to honor what Jared Allen discovered when his grandpa singled him out from his brothers and said, my job was to carry this name through 3 wars, to put it on the back of your jersey. Your job is to prove worthy. That's why we are here tonight, to wrap gold around the spirit of boys alive with laughter. Mom or grandma's voice calling out after, don't forget to bring your jacket. And one boy says, what? And the other grabs his brother's jacket as the door slams shut. And when he catches him on the corner, he tells him, here, dummy, I got this for you. Put it on. See, we are here tonight to honor 4 brothers who won't go cold because 378 others grabbed their gold jacket, came here to smack it into their brother's chest the way the best brothers do and say only, put this on. That's all tonight is. All it ever was is a brother taking another brother in his arms and saying for the very first time, welcome home.
When Eric Allen was on the field, the smartest thing the opposing quarterback could do was look the other way. Allen immediately showed why he was gangrene shutdown corner. As a rookie in 1988, he recorded 5 interceptions, followed by 8 in '89, earning him AP First Team All-Pro honors and the first of 6 Pro Bowl selections. A true game changer, Allen kept crucial points off the scoreboard.
Aikman goes in the corner, up for grabs, picked off. Eric Allen, interception.
And he turned takeaways into touchdowns. Allen returned 4 interceptions for touchdowns, in 1993, which tied the then NFL single-season record and earned him UPI Defensive Player of the Year recognition. Allen is the only player in NFL history to record 3 or more pick sixes in 2 seasons. Allen racked up 54 career interceptions with 8 returned for scores, which was the 3rd most in NFL history at the time of his retirement. Thankfully for quarterbacks, regretful decisions are not an official stat.
He intercepted at least 3 passes in 10 of his 14 seasons and totaled 8 pick sixes in his career. Quarterback Eric Allen, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Eric to head down the gauntlet to receive his gold jacket.
Attempted rush. He's going to be sacked in the end zone. Jared Allen got him. A safety.
When Jared Allen rode into the league, he was on a mission to wrangle quarterbacks. From gunslingers to the sheriff. No quarterback was safe when Allen was on the field, and no player recorded more sacks from 2004 to 2015 than Allen's 136. Twice, he led the league in sacks, 8 times reaching double digits.
That's a free ball. It is picked up by the Vikings, and this one is going to go to the house.
He's hit from behind. Ball comes loose. Jared Allen pried it loose on the hit from behind, and he comes away out of the pile with it.
During his 12 NFL seasons, no one recovered more fumbles than Allen's 19.
He throws it over the middle, intercepted by Jared Allen inside the 30 to the 20, and Jared Allen is gone.
Allen's 6 career interceptions rank among the most for defensive linemen, and his 4 career safeties are tied for the most all time.
And it's up in the air, it is going to be caught by Jared Allen. Unbelievable! Wide open, Jared Allen, touchdown!
Far too often, Allen's opponents learn, when you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
He led the NFL in sacks in 2007 and 2011 and tied the NFL record for career safeties with 4. Defensive end, Jared Allen. Yeah, let's get Jared a gold jacket.
physicality to the NFL end zones. Antonio Gates forever changed how the tight end position is played. The San Diego Chargers took a chance on the Kent State Golden Flash, who'd never played a down of collegiate football. What they got was nothing short of the electrifying.
Drop, looking, firing into the end zone. Gates with a leaping catch. Touchdown, San Diego. Gates in the end zone again.
In his second season, Gates earned his first with 3 consecutive first-team AP All-Pro honors and 8 straight Pro Bowl selections.
LT, now he can throw it, and he will. And it's Gates, and it is a touchdown. San Diego Chargers. Holy mackerel.
During his 16-year NFL career, Gates set numerous franchise records and was named to the NFL's All-Decade Team of the 2000s.
And looking for Gates, going to the end zone. Touchdown Chargers. His 112 touchdown reception, the most ever by a tight end in NFL history. Get that ball to Kent and grab Antonio's gold jacket while you're there.
An undrafted basketball player from nearby Kent State. He still holds the record for most receiving touchdowns by a tight end, and he's a member of the All-Decade Team of the 2000s. Ladies and gentlemen, tight end Antonio Gates.
He throws it away into the end zone. That's a touchdown. That's a touchdown to Sharpe. How in the world did they let him get away?
Physical play and unquestionable toughness were hallmarks of Sterling Sharpe. But even those attributes don't illustrate just how skilled he was as a pass catcher and a touchdown scorer. In 1992, Sharpe became just the second player since the AFL-NFL merger to capture the receiving triple crown, leading the league in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. His 108 receptions that season set a new NFL record, which he then broke the following season with 112 receptions, making Sharpe the first player ever to catch 100 or more passes in consecutive seasons. Twice, Sharpe led the league in receiving touchdowns and was the first player since the merger to lead the NFL in receptions 3 times. He was selected to the Pro Bowl in 5 of his 7 seasons played.
Throws for Sharpe in the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown for Green Bay!
Sharpe was also selected as an AP First Team All-Pro 3 times and was named to the NFL All-Decade Team of the 1990s.
He led the league in receptions in 3 of his first 6 seasons, a member of the NFL's All-Decade Team of the 1990s. Come on now, wide receiver, Sterling Sharpe. Sterling, it is time to get you a gold jacket. Give it up. not leave, there's still more to come. Got a little bit more coming. All right, in just a minute, we are going to bring the class of 2025 back on stage, the special group. But what we need to do right now is get your program out. We guys told you about this big prize, about this great winery up here at Gervasi Vineyards, and now it is time to pull out the, okay, right here, this is what your program looks like. We're gonna find a winner. Okay, now we're gonna go to, let's say, on page 3. Okay, on page 3, there should be a number, and then we're gonna have a group photo, and after that is when I'm gonna, are we good? Oh, we are good. Okay, so now we're going to bring, now that you got up to page 3, we are going to bring the class of 2025 back on stage. You'll get out your cameras, soak it all in, and let's welcome in and welcome back in their gold jackets as a team, the class of 2025. Eric Allen, Antonio Bates, Jared Allen, and Sterling Sharpe. A forever class. One last round of applause. We can save some skin on the palms and clap tomorrow too for your Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025. Hug it up, hug it up. Okay, so and now for the Gervasi Vineyards Grand Prize winner, which you must be here to win. Look on page 2, page 2. And if your program number, Jeff, give me the secret number you've been stashing. The winner. And when you win, wave your 424. 424. Stand up, wave your program. Put your hands in the air, wave it like you just don't get. Can we see you? I mean, it's all wet in here. I can't even see somebody big there. Do we have a spotter over here? All right. All right, we have a winner. Not really supposed to be Jeff. Are we gonna find them? 424? Okay, we're gonna find you. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my absolute pleasure to see you guys celebrate greatness tonight. Mary Kay Cabot, Brent Musburger in the class of 2025. We all thank you. Have a great night. We will see you at Tom Benson Stadium tomorrow for the Pro Football Hall of Fame enshrinement ceremony.
Hi, I'm Rob Johnson with YSN Live. What a night, folks. The Gold Jacket Dinner did not disappoint. The Gold Jacket Dinner was amazing, folks. I hope you enjoyed that presentation. Congratulations to Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Sterling Sharpe, and Antonio Gates on getting their gold jackets and one step closer to being an official Pro Football Hall of Famer. What an amazing night. I'm so excited for tomorrow for the NFL enshrinement ceremony. We will see you there. I will be there. Jocelyn, Troy, I know we're waiting to hear if Sam or DJ is going to be here, but we'll have all the action here on YSN Live. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you in a gymnasium stadium near you. Have a great night, everybody. This is YSN Live.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of your sports network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.